What is on top of the deck? What is on top of the deck? Oh, it's Lightning Helix! Oh my god! Oh my god!
Welcome to Hunt the Week.
Hello everyone and welcome into the show. Welcome in all of you orcs and hobbitses, whether you're fighting for Sauron and getting together all of your orc army to get together and have a great battle, or maybe you are part of the Fellowship making the great journey to destroy the One Ring. Whatever side you find yourself on, know that I am fighting alongside you. That's right, I play both sides. I don't care who wins, as long as I am on the side that does it. I am your host with the most, your Goku or Go Home, your Don John DeMarco, and this is Hunt the Week. It is a weekly Magic the Gathering podcast about the Arena Gauntlet Sealed League that we all play in. This is week 4, Lord of the Rings, and we're in it. This is a weird one. This was a weird stipulation week. You can only play cards that have an even mana cost or an odd mana cost, and everyone had certain strategies. You know, everyone had a certain kind of strategy. Are you underplaying this week? Maybe you're overplaying this week because you underplayed last week. Maybe you'll want to underplay next week so you couldn't underplay this week. What did you do? What did I do? We are going to get into it as we begin the great journey.
The ring is evil. It will corrupt and destroy anyone who wears it. What will you do with the One Ring, Frodo?
As I record, this is your top 8. It is 2:56 p.m. on Thursday. Number 1, Raphael F., 15-5. Damian S., 15-5. Tony G, Why Not Rock, 14-6. Michael B, Monkey Mage, 13-6. Nick S, Najisi, 13-7. Nice league, Najisi. Jordan M, JM Tron, 13-7. Daniel G, Frisky Hobbit, 13-7. Evan C, Peas of Crab. And your people who had great weeks: Damien, 6-0. Tony G, welcome back, Tony. He's back, man. Better than ever. 5-0. Daniel G, 5-1. Sawyer T, 5-1. And a lot of people up here, it's hard to keep up with these people when they go 5-0, 6-0, right? How do you catch up to someone who has a 6-0 week, right? That's tough. And Damien's deck is busted. Damien's deck has been busted from the beginning. Raphael, still the point leader, still in first place, has been there the entire league. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to flag Raphael. I'm flagging him here on the show. As I record, we are getting ready for fantasy football season. I am starting up a AGL only fantasy football league. We're starting to talk about it in Cody's super secret server. Cody Race is the best player on the server. So if you play fantasy football and you would like to be a part of a fantasy football league centered around Magic players, shoot me a message or come on over to Cody's server and jump in the fantasy football channel. We got 3 spots open, and I want you in there. I want it to be all AGL, so I got 3 more spots to fill. Whether you know a lot about football or you don't, it's going to be a fun time. I'm going to go ahead and flag Raphael. Raph, you're getting a flag. Unsportsmanlike conduct. 15 yards, man. Trying to get out of playing Brawl Week. Come on, dude. Come on, man. This guy's in first place and saying, I'm playing stip matches all week, but my only stip is that we don't play Brawl. Come on, dude. You ain't fooling nobody. You're in first place. Why are you scared? Why are you scared, man? You ain't never gonna win a league by being scared. You gotta play your games, and you gotta win. That's how it works. You don't get to do stip matches in the mega draft. You know, you want to make it through this whole thing. You gotta play by the rules, and you're not fooling anyone trying to skirt the rules. I got a stip match for you, Raphael. We both put 2 copies of Lightning Bolt in our deck. First person to cast both copies wins. Come at me, bro. But yeah, weird debate going on right now about can stip matches and getting around rules and stuff. It's ridiculous. Raphael's trying to game the system. Everyone knows it. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. And he's doing great, so I don't know why he's scared. I mean, he's probably scared because he's doing great and he doesn't want to stop doing great. But hey, you're in first place, man. You gotta put up or shut up. You're the big bad right now, and showing everyone you're scared. It ain't a good look. You can be better. And I was better. I went 4-1 this week. That's not bad for me. I didn't think I was going to make it through. I only had 2 losses to give. I was on red-white odds. And I went 4. My plan was to underplay this week so I can get to Brawl Week, right? I've been talking about it since the beginning. I just want to make it to Brawl. That's all I want to do. I didn't think I would do it. 4-1, went 4-0. Decided, why underplay? I'm 4-0. Like I'm doing something right this week. We should try and get all our games in. Ran into the great wall that is Jordan JM Tron, and of course took that loss. But hey, I made it to Brawl Week. I get to play some Brawl. I'm excited about my options. I've got 2 different decks built with different commanders, and I might switch between them while I sideboard. Maybe I start with this deck and then move to my other deck as we go. I don't know what other people are planning, but I saw Reed P, Big Effing Snake, play with his Mouth of Sauron deck. Looks great. I know Dan A's got a Samwise deck that looks really cool. I'm excited for Brawl Week. I know a lot of people aren't here for it. A lot of people don't like it. I like it, so I'm here for it. I'm ready, man. I've been playing all these other crummy weeks I didn't want to be a part of. Yeah, the deck challenges are fun, but it's restricting. This is the fun one. This is the fun week, and I made it. I hope you did too. I'm excited to see what kind of Brawl craziness happens. The odd and even week was a weird week. A lot of people underplayed this week. A lot of people overplayed because they underplayed last week. It's a weird league. Like I said, I went 4-1. So I'm 10-10. All right, this has been my league. 1-4, 4-1, 1-4, 4-1. I don't know. I don't know what's happening. Don't think my deck's anything special, but it seems to go from, yeah, this deck's really bad to, hey, this deck's pretty good. I don't know. But I can tell you, I won't make it to next week. So when we get to that portion of the show next week, I will be reading out my name in the no longer with us category. Big shout out to Miranda, a.k.a. the Great Watcher, who won the Miranda's Mega Draft Challenge. What a surprise. Miranda wins Miranda's Mega Draft Challenge, gets a Player of the Year spot. It makes sense. She played in every one. She knows how to Mega Draft. She's been practicing for 8 weeks straight how to do a Mega Draft, and then she makes it into the Mega Draft tournament. Big surprise. Miranda takes it home. But big congratulations to you, Miranda. I'll be seeing you in the Player of the Year tournament. Not an easy thing to get into. And hey, I'm rooting for both of us in that thing. And both of us is a great way to start this next segment, because I do not do it alone. I can't do it alone, much like Frodo and the ring. That one dang ring, I can't do it alone. So please join me as we go to Mordor.
I'm going to Mordor alone. Of course you are. And I'm coming with you.
That's right. This week I'm going to Mordor. I can never say that right. This week I am going to Mordor, and I am taking someone with me someone that really caught my eye in Neo League. Someone that is a newish player, been around a couple leagues, getting their name out there, and it's a player that I have been watching, and he is having a great league. I had on Reed P, a.k.a. Big Effing Snake, and I loved talking to Reed. Super fun, super smart guy. We got a crazy Steve question in there. We talk Lord of the Rings. We talk Neo, because who wants to stop doing that? Join me as we listen to that conversation now. All right, everyone, join me as we journey to Mordor this week with Reed P, a.k.a. Big Effing Snake. Reed, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Hey, thank you for coming on, man. I really appreciate it. You made a splash. You came in Mom. I guess I didn't notice you much in Mom, if we're honest. But Neo League, you make a big splash. I watch a bunch of your games. You play tight. You build good decks. And now I'm watching you in Lord of the Rings up in there in the top 8 again. And you're doing great, man.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
I got to know, man. So you seem like you're pretty good at the game. When did you start playing Magic?
So this question doesn't really have a simple answer in my case. I started playing in paper, as I think a lot of us did, when I was pretty young. I think I was probably 11 or so. So that would have been, well, I don't want to give away my age. No, it's okay.
Yeah, don't dox yourself, man. Don't.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna say it was like probably 10 years ago I started playing. So 2013, which was with a couple friends, just playing, tabletop. And then I started to play a little bit in some local game stores, but kind of fell out of it for quite a long time, say like 5, 6 years. And then one day I saw like an advertisement for Arena, and I was like, all right, this will be how I get back into it. And I've been playing since I think Zendikar Rising was the first set I played on Arena, and that I've been playing ever since.
Do you have a favorite set since you've started playing, like a set that you look back on real fondly, and you're like, that is my jam?
Yeah, I have to say it's somewhere between. It's a tie, I think, and it's
Sure.
between Mom and DMU. Those are my favorite sets to draft for me.
Ooh,
I had the most
why
success
is
with them.
that? They're good sets for sure.
I
But
don't
what I
know
guess
why.
those are both kind of grindy sets, maybe like
Yeah,
big greedy mana
for
sets
sure,
too,
for sure.
almost.
Definitely sets that um are not too fast. I think that's always
Yeah.
been
Oh,
something that's hard for me, hard for a lot of people, but me especially. I've always struggled with those sets, and I mean, those are just the sets that I don't play that much, the fast ones, like
I
one, of
agree.
course.
Yeah, one was not a great time.
But I
Uh,
would like to give an honorable mention to Strixhaven. That was like the first set I really heavily drafted, really got into limited with that set. And that was a great one too. And I didn't really know it at the time since it was the first set I really drafted, and I didn't understand how great of a format it was. But looking back, super fond of that one as well.
yeah, the Reed, we're gonna get along just fine.
Okay, great.
Strixhaven is one of my all-time favorite sets. I
Yeah,
love
yeah,
Strixhaven. Such a fun draft environment, and like the whole, learn lesson thing. It doesn't work when you do like chaos, but when you're 100% Strixhaven, oh, that's just such a cool mechanic. Like having
it
this
is.
sideboard you can pull from, and the bonus sheet. I guess were these almost all bonus sheets? DMU didn't have bonus sheets, did it?
No.
But
But yeah, now that you mention it, I kind of do. I didn't mind Brothers War either.
yeah, same.
Yeah, I guess the bonus sheets have been hitting it for me. Yeah,
It's interesting because every time they print a bonus sheet, it's always really scary. And it's always like, oh
right,
no, they're going to ruin the draft
right.
format. They put Ragavan in Mom. We can't do this. And then you
Yeah,
play it, it's great. You're like, I didn't
yeah,
even open the Ragavan the whole time, but like the companions, oh, so fun.
yeah, yeah. No, totally, totally agree.
And here you are. Yeah, yeah. Like I said, you come in Mom. How'd you find the league, by the way? And can I guess? Is it Reddit?
You can guess, and you have guessed correctly. Yes,
Hey,
I found it through Reddit. Somewhere, I think there's a post somewhere during the Shadows of Innistrad League, and I joined during then and patiently awaited the Mom League to start, and I signed up for that one.
that was the Shadows of Innistrad. That was a pretty fun one. That's just a good set. I love the Innistrad sets.
Yeah, I kind of missed out on that one. I didn't really play that one while it was going on. I think something was going on in my life. I can't recall exactly what, but I wasn't playing at the time.
Hey,
So I kind of missed that.
you're a busy guy, and we're happy to have you now. You come in on Mom. How did you do in Mom, by the way?
I did pretty well, for my first league, at least. I think I placed 17th.
Yeah, not bad at all. Not
Yeah,
bad at
so I
all.
was just shy of top 16.
Oh wow! So
Um,
you're in your three leagues, so you've just been like right there so far, almost every time.
yeah, I mean, I've had some pretty good pools. I can recognize that. I'm not gonna. I don't. I think I've had some beginner's luck in terms of the cards I've opened, and I don't want to jinx anything. So I'd like to keep opening packs the same way I have. So yeah, I think I'm gonna thank that for my performance so far.
Hey, it comes and goes, man. Let me tell you, I'm on 10 packs. I've got every pack I'm gonna get. Still not a copy of Claim the Precious common
Yeah.
removal spell.
Have you
Yeah,
seen how many I have?
no, how many?
Do you want to guess?
I'm gonna guess three.
Up.
Up five.
Yes.
Oh my God! See, no wonder you're doing so well.
I know. Yeah. Again, RNG is this is on my side.
Oh, well, since we're talking about it, let's get into it. We're in Lord of the Rings. We're in week 4, end of week where I guess me and you have both played our game, so we're done with week 4. But as we
Yes.
record, it is Sunday. It's still pretty early on in the week.
Hmm.
How have you been liking Lord of the Rings League? I'd like to go week by week and kind of see what your strategy has been, what your strategy is going to be maybe in the coming weeks. I'd like to know what's working for you because I mean it's probably 5 copies of Claim the Precious, but what do you got? What's the juice that you have that is because right now what is your record?
It's 13-7 right
13
now.
and 7. You went 3-3 this week, which means you underplayed last week.
Yes.
Right. So I want to know all about it. How did we get here? What is the plan, and how is it going?
Sure thing. So, week one, our restriction was what? We played 40 cards.
40 card decks, smaller decks.
Was that it? There was no
Yeah,
other.
That
Okay.
was it.
Yeah, so week one, I believe in my initial pack, I opened 3 Claim the Precious, I think, initially. I had 3 Claim the Precious, I had 3 Uruk-hai Berserkers. I just said, hey, my black looks good. I think I just played black-red. And I think I went 3-2 week one. Okay, so yeah, I did go 3-2 the first week, just playing little black-red. Beating Chris York, I will say. I always like to make that clear when I can.
Oh yeah, it always feels good to take Chris down a peg, and he is a punching bag of sorts for the league. In fact,
Yes.
I played him twice, and he beat me one of those times because
Oh,
I didn't know which card to take out of his hand with Torment of Golem.
uh-huh.
So here's the story. I actually have been thinking about this game as a game that I definitely shouldn't have lost, but
Okay.
he had the One Ring.
Uh-huh.
He was on green, white. It was last week when we had to play a bunch of weird color pairs.
Okay.
He had like the One Ring, Rosie, and the green enchantment that lets you tap your creatures for mana, and you can cast creatures from the top of your
Yep.
library.
Yep.
Nothing on board. That's all he has.
Okay.
I've got like a couple creatures on board, and I'm kind of playing the aggro game before he can like really do anything. I take the One Ring. Okay. Now here's the thing. I've never seen the One Ring or this green card played before. I just haven't been playing this format a lot. I know they're both good cards. One Ring's breaking like every format right now, right?
Yep.
And this green card seems good, but again, haven't seen it played. Took the One Ring. He ends up playing Rosie and then that enchantment and outvaluing me with cards he gets off the top of his library and stabilizes, and I lose.
Okay.
Should have taken either the creature, which was the only creature he had, or the enchantment, which brought him back and let him have the ring, and hopefully that would have just killed him, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know. Probably he also had tons of life gain and food making in that deck, so he could have still gained a bunch of life. But
Yep.
Definitely, I think the wrong call. But do you have an opinion on that?
The format being so fresh to you, I don't think there's an easy call to make there. I think
Is the One
anybody,
Ring that good, or am I
you
just
know,
scared of it?
I think it is breaking every format right now, but I don't think it's breaking limited.
Yeah, so that's the part I didn't know about.
Yeah, and I didn't either. I did play one Premier Draft with it, and while I can see the power in it, I think some decks are worse with it than others. I don't know. It seems really hit or miss in limited versus in constructed. It's just always amazing, it seems like. So I don't know. You could have made the wrong choice, but I wouldn't fault you for your
I feel
pick.
like I did. I keep looking back on it and thinking I should have taken probably the enchantment and let him
Yeah.
just play the ring. But hey, I didn't know, and now I know that enchantment. Now I know it's very good. I know it's
Yeah.
very good.
I also had a memorable game against Chris. I did end up winning the match, but he took one game from me in week one when he was playing green, some kind of blue green something, and he was playing Rise of the Ents. The 8 mana, whatever, put a ton of creatures into play. I don't know what that says, but it says you win the game, and it can't be countered, which I actually had a counter spell for. And yeah, he took a game from me that way in pretty epic fashion. So I thought that was fun too.
I don't think I've ever seen that card played either. That's the thing.
Yeah.
All these cards we're talking about are cards that people don't play.
These are cards that Chris York plays.
I guess it's cards that green players play, and who's playing green is kind of the thing.
Yeah.
So week one, 40 cards, you did well. 3-2. Week two, you get some extra cards. We get the bonus pack of a land, a rare, an uncommon, legendary, a Lembas.
Yep.
Red. How'd you do in week two?
So week two was great for me. So in my fellowship pack, I opened a borrowed door, the black legendary land,
Oh yeah.
and the rest of it was kind of just random filler. But um, my game one, I lost to Ryan, and then after that, I 4-0'd. So I had 4 wins that week, ended 4-1. That was pretty good. Um, yeah, not much to say. What was our restriction then? Was there a restriction? I don't think so.
The only restriction was we're back to 60 cards and you get
Right.
like a free bonus pack. It was like a positive
Right.
week. Like everything's great. Here's some free stuff. Back to 60 cards.
Yeah.
4-1. Nice record. Positive records. 3-2. 4-1. That's what you
Yep.
got to do to get to that top 8, right? So right now you're
Exactly.
7-3.
Yep.
Feeling good. You're going into the week where you got to play a bunch of different decks, a bunch of different color pairs.
hmm
How does that go?
So, this is the week where I had to look at my pool and really see what was going to be possible for me. And with my deck, that meant playing black. Or sorry,
Makes sense.
with my pool, that meant playing black. I had 4, I think I was up to 4 Claim the Precious at this point. And I just played every black combination I could, playing 4 games. And I think I was 3-1. I lost with my black red deck in a mirror match against Jordan.
No, tough to win against Jordan. That's what Jordan
Yeah.
does.
Yeah, he is pretty good.
I was 4-0 this week, and my plan was to underplay this week because I really wanted to play in Brawl Week, and I came into the week at 6-9, so I didn't think I was going to make it through.
Okay.
And I got to 4-0 on red white odds,
Oh wow.
and I was like, hey, I mean, I'm 4-0. I might as well just play the last game out. I made it to Brawl Week either way.
Uh-huh.
And who steps into my path but Jordan? Oh boy.
You hate to see it.
We have some close, tight games, but he's on like 5-color weird stuff, and whoa, he had my number as he usually does.
Wow.
But yeah, that's so even with a positive record, you just thought I don't want to play anything that's not black.
Yes.
That's fair.
Yes.
You have a plan, right? I love
Yes.
that.
Yeah, and that brings us to this week, which I actually just finished my last match about an hour ago. In which I had to play 6 games because of the underplay last week.
Uh-huh.
And I just played. I looked at my pool and I saw 5 Claim the Precious, 3 Uruk-hai Berserkers, Sauron, Mouth of Sauron, and I said, all right, I'm playing blue-black odd. And I played blue-black odd for all of my games. I mean, Claim the Precious did all the work in the wins.
Sure.
And couple tough games. This actually most recent game was pretty demoralizing. I played against Sawyer and I went 2-1, and both of the losses were to like a double what is it called? Improvised club to the face.
Oh man, that
Both
card! I've
losses.
lost to that card so many times.
It's so demoralizing.
Did he pair it with the fiery inscription
Yep.
thing?
Oh,
yeah.
I think he has 2 of them. He
Yeah,
didn't get any
see?
on the board, but it was so demoralizing. Yeah.
I've been at like 13 before and been like, I got blockers, I got food,
exactly.
I'm fine. And
Exactly.
then it's like club. Oh my god, I have been there, man. Wow. That's I know how you feel. I know how you feel.
Yeah.
But hey, good for Sawyer. I guess he's doing that thing.
Yeah, good for him. And it was in a red white. It wasn't in a red blue. But yeah, his deck is pretty sweet. And so that leads us to Brawl Week. Brawl Week is the one I'm scared for because I'll come again to the 5 Claim the Precious. That turns to 1 this week.
Yep.
So Brawl Week is scary. I also only have 2 color commanders, and the only one I have in black is the Mouth of Sauron. So it seems like that's what I'm going to be doing. But yeah, I think this is the week that I'm worried about. I could be eliminated in this one. I can only lose 3 times this week. But yeah, so I'm nervous. I'll say that.
Have you been on blue black for most of the league, or you been switching between blue black and blue red?
Yeah, I know. I've been between blue black and black red.
Black red. Oh yeah, sorry, blue black red, which makes sense.
Yeah.
So you got no. Do you like your blue better, or do you have no black red commander.
I don't have a black-red commander.
That's tough. That
Yeah.
is tough.
I have Sauron, the 5-mana mono black one, and Mouth of Sauron. Those are my only black commanders, and I don't think I can make playables in mono black.
No, it's so hard. I mean, it's
Yeah.
like you have to play like every artifact you have, and
Yeah.
like you really stretch it thin.
Yeah. Although I will say my black is ridiculously deep.
See,
Yeah.
maybe it's worth just to see if you can. But yeah, I guess both the Sauron repeatedly casting, you might mill somebody out. Maybe, maybe,
Maybe.
maybe casted it about 10 times. You might do it.
Yeah. Um, but yeah. So I'm very nervous for next week.
If you do get through next week and you make it to
Yes.
the last week where you can only play one rare.
Yes.
I mean, of course, you got more packs to open. We're not going to worry about that right now.
Uh-huh.
If you could pick the one rare in your pool, what would that rare be?
Orcish Bowmasters.
Oh, you got a Bowmasters?
I just opened one yesterday, and I'm playing it odd. It didn't pull me into even for the week.
Yeah.
So I haven't been able to play with it, but I opened it. I'm like, okay, I just need to survive because I will say my week 6 deck looks very good.
Yes.
I'm going to say that strongly.
I mean, 5 Claim the Precious. You don't need the rares, right?
No.
You're fine. You've got the commons.
I'm looking at 5 Claim the Precious, 3 Uruk-hai Berserkers, 4 Mouth of Saurons, I don't know, a few other things, 3 Gothmogs, Bitter Downfall. It's pretty stacked. So
Oh, yeah.
I really just need to survive.
Is underplaying? Is that the plan
Yes.
for all week? Yeah.
Yes.
Cool. Brawl Week is going to be so interesting. Because I'm with you. My deck has made there on the consistency. I got 4 of the white Errand White Rider. The 3/2
Very
that
nice.
draws a card, right?
Very
Like,
nice. Yeah.
yeah. But this week I got one of them, and
Yeah.
that's not good. That's not what my deck wants to do. Right?
No.
My deck is consistent. My deck isn't
Exactly.
strong. So I feel you.
Yeah. I fear that this week will be the great equalizer. Like, honestly, I feel like every game will be close to 50-50. Unless you have like the Witch King as your commander.
Yes,
So,
which people might. I mean, that's the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, they could. And there's some people with, blessed with a 3-color commander where they get a whole
Yes,
extra color
yes.
to dig. Like those people are going to be sitting pretty, I think.
yeah.
Um,
I did open an Eowyn in my last punishment pack.
Yeah.
The Exile greater than 3 power.
Yep.
So I'm thinking about doing that because in Singleton, my black is not really that strong. So it's a consideration, but I don't know. We'll see.
That's where I'm at right now. Is I have an Eowyn and I also have a Theoden.
Yeah,
all these names.
I have him as well.
So it's like here's my plan, and this is my original plan. I think I was game planning too much, but originally I was like build a humans red white Theoden deck.
Mm-hmm.
If their commander has more power than 3, I sideboard into Eowyn, like Witch King and stuff.
Okay.
But I think there's going to be so many big creatures all the time that I don't need to side. I can just play Eowyn and it's fine. Like there's a lot of creatures bigger than 3 power. So
having that effect in the command zone seems pretty powerful.
Right, removal spell in the command zone. I think it's going to be good. But hey, we'll find out next week. I only got 1 loss, so how far can it take me?
Yeah. Well, I wish you the best of luck. I'd love to see you clean sweep this week. That would be awesome.
Oh, my weeks have been this has been such a strange league for me, and I'm sure I talked about it up top in the show. But week 1, 1-4. Week 2, 4-1. Week 3, 1-4. Week 4, 4-1.
Yeah.
So I'm having like really bad weeks, but then like great weeks, and I'm just like, what is happening? My deck is like, it's so good, it's so amazing, it's so consistent. Oh, it can't do anything against anybody. It just falls apart.
Yeah.
Well, Reed, we have talked Lord of the Rings enough. We have to talk about the questions from the league. As always, I've asked, and they did not disappoint. Caleb G would like to know, what is your favorite species of snake?
Yeah, so this is when he asked me this, I kind of was reminded of what my username is. I kind of just muscle memory put it into things without thinking about it. But I'm realizing I was really into snakes as a kid. I had a lot of books full of them, and I had a birthday party where some handler came and brought a bunch of amphibians and reptiles.
Oh, that's awesome.
And I had some kind of boa constrictor on my shoulders, and I'm just gonna go with that.
A boa constrictor, big old
Yes.
snake, a big
Yes.
effing snake. Is that
That's
where
right.
the name
That
comes
is it.
from?
That is it. Yes.
Wow,
got
a
it.
nice boa constrictor wrapped around the neck, terrorizing everyone.
Hmm.
And our next one comes from Steve, and Steve came on last week. He broke down so many strange interactions and rules questions. It was awesome. And this week he's got another tough rules question for you. This is it. Amaru casts Voracious Typhoon from his graveyard for its escape cost. He controls Branching Evolution, Doubling Seasoned, Hardened Scales, and Winding Constrictor. Later, when the Voracious Typhoon is tapped, his opponent, Nyoka, oh, Steve, enchants it with Sinking Feeling. On his next turn, Amaru untaps it using the ability granted by the aura, so he can attack with it. In the end, how big is his snake?
Pretty effing big. I'll
Pretty
say that.
effing big. Hey, what a tailored question for you.
I know.
Oh my God.
Right? Really just very thoughtful, Steve. Thank you. So I want to preface this by saying, since I am somewhat of a newer player, I had to look up the vast majority of these cards. I had
Yeah,
never heard of them before.
of course.
I also looked up Amaru looking for that as a card, not realizing that was a name in this situation. So that was like a few minutes of confused Googling. Thinking it was like something that could bring stuff back from the yard. But eventually I figured out Steve's ways. So this also caused me to do a pretty deep dive into replacement effects, because I
Oh
think
boy.
that's really what this question is about. So we have 4 replacement effects, I think, here, with Branching Evolution, Doubling Season, Hardening Scales, and Widening Constrictor. And what I read is that the Hardened Scales effects and Widening Constrictors effects can be placed first, and that those effects will happen first, and then the other ones will happen afterwards. So you get to double the additional counters being placed. So when this is my guess.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
when
So
Voracious,
Typhoon
yeah,
enters the battlefield with 3 counters on it.
right,
What happens?
yes. So we have all of these replacement effects in play. So it enters with 3, and
Yep.
I'm going to say one of the additional effects, Hardened Scales, will make that 4. The Winding Constrictor will make it 5. Then the Doubling Season will make it 10, and then the Branching Evolution will make it 20. So it will enter with 20 1/1 counters, making it a 24/24. Then our opponents will enchant it with Sinking Feeling. And on our next turn, we are going to put originally 1/1 counter on it. But of these 4 replacement effects, only 2 of them mention all counters. The other 2 mention +1/+1 counters specifically. So
Ooh.
I'm going to say that the Winding Constrictor refers to all counters, and so it makes it 2. And then I think the Doubling Season also refers to all counters, and that will double it to 4, making it have total 20/20 power and toughness. That is my math.
That is a great question, and that's enough to kill somebody if they're at full health. I don't know
Definitely.
if it's right. It sounds right. There's a lot of things going on here.
Yes, certainly.
And I think you caught. See, I didn't catch the yeah, that only half of them care about negative or specifically +1/+1 counters. I didn't catch
Yes.
that doing this.
Yeah.
Ooh. So Steve's getting tricky even with the trick questions.
He is. He is. No, I hope I did it justice. I guess we'll find out from him. I'm sure he has the right answer. And I'm curious to know how I did with that.
Yeah, I'm confused. I mean, even just reading this, I'm so confused by it. Like, yeah, these things all just put more counters on more counters on more counters, and like
Yeah.
at the same time. And if you put one more, but then double them, and then put twice. Oh my gosh, it's too
Mhm.
much. I like it. 16 counters. Is it right? I don't know. We'll do it. Before you check for the answer. Sit there and think about it, and pull up all these cards and read Steve's question and figure it out for yourself. Make it a fun little thing. Like Reed had to figure this out, and then I had to ask him about it on a show. That's probably nerve wracking. You do it, and then we'll figure out who was right. I have no idea. I told Reed before we started. Too much. This is too much math for me. This is too much math. I know it's a lot. It's a lot of counters.
It's definitely lethal.
It's. I think so. I think. I see. Here's the thing. I don't know, because as soon as you like, do you get to stack them however you want, or can you only stack them a certain way when the counters come on?
You know,
Because that
I
changes
read
things.
I read that they can be stacked however the player wants, but I don't know is the answer.
I mean, if you can stack anything, you get to stack it all, right? Like, so I guess yeah. So they would all, and you would want to double them after you put the extra counters on. You did it the right
Yes.
way to have the maximum counters.
Yeah.
This is Reed we're talking
I'm
about.
assuming Amaru wants to have the most counters possible.
Yeah, they're not going to do like double it. Now put one. Now put one.
Yeah.
Now that's a problem you might have if you play online and misclick the wrong thing. That wouldn't be fun.
Mhm.
Our last question comes from Miranda, the great watcher, and she would like to know, what is the best game you've had so far? Maybe you got run over by a big giant green Journey of the Ents spell, or what is your favorite deck that you've had so far, either in a league, side event, or just drafting with people on the server?
Yeah, so I have an answer for this one actually with the best game I've had. And it was last league in the Neo Partner League with Caleb. We were playing against Raf, and Kamigawa board states are, I feel like, notoriously complex.
Yep.
And we had two very heavily filled boards. And I don't remember all of it, but I remember at least 6 creatures on each side. I had a few sagas going. But Raf importantly had a flipped Boseiju, so the big reach creature.
Yeah, big boy.
Yep. I had, and no, Raf also had a flipped Behold the Unspeakable, a Vision, and quite large. He had quite a few cards in hand, and he also had this reach creature. And on my side, I had a Shattered States Era. That was Art's creature side, and I also had the 2-mana blue instant sorcery that I believe it flickered something and came back with an extra counter. Planar Incision, exactly, yes. So on one of Raph's attacks, he went and attacked with just the flipped Behold. So this big flyer that I didn't have a way to block, and it had me on like a 2-turn clock or something. But by bouncing my flipped Shattered States Era, I was able to steal his reach creature, chump his Behold the Unspeakable with it.
Oh my gosh.
Which killed his reach creature and left him with not enough blockers, and gave me an almost exact swing out for victory. He had like one too many short blockers. It was pretty crazy.
Wow, that is insane.
Yeah. So that was definitely my most memorable game of all the Gauntlet leagues so far.
So you and Caleb partnered up in Neo?
Yes.
Pretty early. What was it? How'd you guys partner up so quickly? Because I didn't know if I'd seen you guys play, or even if you guys even knew each other before that.
We did not, and I'm gonna say I got quite lucky because we had a sign up channel, I believe, and I was just online, watching the channels as one does, and I saw Caleb post looking for a teammate, someone who is not top 8'd, and I had never seen a more apt description for me before. And so I immediately DM'd him, and he said okay. And so I was super happy about that. Caleb is a great player. I learned a lot from him during that league, I will say.
Oh yeah. Caleb's one of the best. His record is phenomenal.
Yeah. So that was awesome, being able to play with him for that league.
And now, see, that's the thing, that now seeing that you take that knowledge and take it into this next league and be doing so well, now we get to look back at Neo and think like, man, what a super team that was of Reed and Caleb. I'm really enjoying watching your Magic career grow on the server, Reed.
Thank you.
Watching with great interest.
Right.
Well, I want to thank you for coming on the show. I've had a great time talking to you. I've really enjoyed watching you play your games. Like I said, I watched a lot of your games with Caleb, and you guys really seem to get along and talk out some really cool, interesting plays. And I was impressed. I had to get you on, and here we are in Lord of the Rings, and I'm watching you, do well again. So I hope you keep it up, and I hope this Brawl Week you make it through to that last week so you can play that one rare 5 Claim the Precious deck.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. I just want to give a quick shout out to the whole league of itself. I think this is an awesome community. I'm really glad to be a part of it. And I saw that post on Reddit we talked about, but everything is just a really good community. Yeah.
And we're happy to have you be a part of it. It only makes it that much better, right? Like as we get in new people and they're as cool as Reed and as good as Reed, like it only makes us better. So thanks for coming in yourself, and I can't wait to see how well you finish out this league and how well you do in the next one.
Thanks.
Reed is so cool and so nice, and I was so happy to see him team up with Caleb and kind of break out of his shell a little bit. So I was able to learn about him in Partner League, see his play style, see how he interacted with people. And since then, I've caught a bunch of Reed's game. I caught him doing a Brawl practice the other day. His deck looks good, and Reed's he's a nice guy, he's a cool guy, and he's a great player. I can't ask for much more from somebody in this league. Be a good player and be, a kind, cool person. And Reed checks all those boxes for me. I hope he does well the rest of Neo League. I'd love to see him get into a mega draft and kind of show all of us old dogs what he has got. And he's doing pretty well so far in Lord of the Rings, and I was very impressed with what I saw from his Brawl deck. I know that my Brawl deck, not nearly as good as his. But we're at that point in the league where people are starting to die off. People they're not sticking around like they used to. We are in week 4, and we have lost a good amount of players. I thought I would be one of them, but I am limping into week 5. Let's go ahead and take a trip to the Dead Marshes. Yoshitaki M. Cradley Go. Philip M. Fat Kitty. Ryan D. The Slickness. Jacob V. Dreisel. Michael M. Atom Bomb. Kevin I. Knee 1993. Chris R. Sinkwater. Mike P. Unwieldy Biscuit. John R. Ged. Chris P. Joker 01. Wyatt C. Hot Dolphin. Chris Y. York on Games. Matthew K. Tortag. Zeke W. Smarmy Platypus. Jaden M. Mononic Device. Nicholas K. Bionic. And everyone else was either lost to entropy or dropped. And I don't like talking about those people because you dropped or lost to entropy. Not the same as someone who played all their games and is no longer with us. Though you are missed, and I hope you come back. Next week, Brawl. I just don't know. I mean, everyone's scared of the Faramir decks, right? Everyone's scared of Faramir. No one wants to play against Faramir. No one wants to play against Dan A's Samwise Gamgee deck. No one wants to play against Raph and his just very good deck. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. I think it's going to be a fun week to watch. I think Brawl is really interesting. It kind of changes the game, and I've been really excited for this week since the beginning. This is the fun week. This is the special treat. You made it this far. You get to play a little bit of a different format. Now, we're all kind of playing the same decks, right? It's singleton format. If you're playing black and white, we're probably playing the same black and white cards. What's different is going to be the commander, right? Very few people have choices of 3-color commanders, but there's a lot of legendaries, and there's a lot of color pairs to choose from, so try and find the right one. Try and get it right. Play your practice games. Make a sideboard for it. Make another deck. case maybe, oh, you're playing aggro? Oh, it's really not working out against this mid-range deck. Switch to something else. Have a backup plan. Get ready for Brawl Week, because one more week, and then you're into Week 6, and Week 6 is the weird one. You only get one rare or mythic in your deck. Can you have one rare or mythic that carries you? Do you have the commons and uncommons to carry your deck through, to make the mega draft, and then be the last entry for Player of the Year? Well, last before the new player tournament. I think that's everybody. To maybe try and take on your boy Goku and Player of the Year. Maybe you try and take on the ex-Player of the Years, Johnny M, Cody Race, big name heavy hitters. Maybe I'll be saying your name here in a couple weeks, announcing you the Player of the Year. Until we get there, until that happens, until we have our Player of the Year, I hope that you get to keep a good 7 and that the shuffler is in your favor. Because it's Brawl Week and we got the hand smoother back. So I want to see some good stinking games, everybody. Let's get it. Let's have our tight plays and let's entertain the rest of the league. Let's go out swinging or go to that next week on top. And I'll see everybody here next week. Bye, everybody.
That sounds right to me. Is there a way to check that? Just go to matches.
Maybe go
Hold
to
on,
matches.
let me do that real quick.
Well, again, this is the kind of thing I fix and post. Everybody,
Exactly.
no one will ever hear this. Chris York is the devil, and Richard, an angel.